Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
All right, Bears Nation. Strap in, embrace yourself, because we're about to take this ride full throttle, baby. Imagine this. It's December 2024. The Bears limp to a 5-12 finish, dead last in the NFC North. Fans groaning, the offense stumbling like a wounded animal. And the vibes at Soldier Field are hitting rock bottom. The haters are loud. The doubters are everywhere. And it feels like the monsters of the Midway are lost in the wilderness, baby. But then, boom, a spark ignites. The front office flips the script. Coaching staff gets jolts of genius and whispers start swirling. Could the 2025 be the year the Bears shock the world? Welcome to the Bears on Tracks, the podcast where we dig into every gritty detail why this team is clawing its way back to glory, bro. I'm your host with the most, Tracks, and today we're tearing into the Bears shot and going from worst to first in the NFC North and maybe, just maybe, beyond. Joining with me is JC. JC from Windy City Breeze. What's up, baby?
Oh, what is going on, man? Hey, I have no words for that intro. You are a beast. That got me going. I'm feeling hyped. I'm ready to play football myself.
Let's go. You're ready for it, baby. So, dude, you are the voice that's breaking down Chicago, man, early in the morning, even before I get my coffee percolating, man. I mean, you're in there daily with Pat the Designer on ESPN Chicago, man. JC, you ready to light this up, baby?
Man, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm having fun, man.
JC, he joins the conversation with us, man, and I'm always excited to be on with you, man. So, JC, we're diving headfirst into Bears, their revamped offensive line, man. Caleb Williams, next level potential, a defense ready to maul the NFC North. Chaos is circling us, man, and we're about to exploit it. This isn't just a podcast, man. It's a battle cry for Bears Nation. So let's roll, man. So here's the deal, man. We're going to talk about the turnaround. But you know, and the turnaround's going to begin right now, rising from the ashes, man. So let's kick it off. Let's rewind. Let's take a little trip back, man. I know it's rough. A lot of us got PTSD, man.
We got to revisit last year.
Oh, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. We're going to rewind to 2024, the 5-12, a season to forget, man. Caleb Williams was running for his life, running like a chicken with his head cut off. The O-line was a sieve, and fans were ready to riot, man. But hold up. ESPN's Aaron Schatz, shout out Schatz, a stat wizard, bro, with 2 decades of dominance in the game. He just dropped his 2025 worst to first rankings. And guess what? Who's number 2, bro? The Chicago Bears, baby. The Chicago Bears. They gave us life. Let's roll with it.
Let's do it.
He's banking on Caleb's leap and a rebuilt front, man. JC, can this team really flip the script in one offseason, bro?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yeah, absolutely. They can flip the script. I believe that they can go from worst to first in a heartbeat because look at everything that the front office has done, including revamping the front office, the organization, the staff. You have an offensive genius in Ben Johnson that came here from Detroit, 3 years of being one of the better offensive minds in the game, top offense in Detroit. Bring him over with Antoine Randall, who is very good at his teaching ability, has been there, done that in the league with the Steelers, won a championship as well. You have Dan Roushar on the line, who's a very, very good offensive line coach. You got Dennis Allen, you have Al Harris. Like, this is a star-studded staff. And then on top of that, we went out in free agency and got a bunch of linemen. That was the big issue, right? Was our protection. You got Caleb scrambling around for his life, even though that was probably one of his special talents, is that he has the ability to kind of, make something out of nothing. He got sacked 68 times last year. And so the fact that now we have a all-pro line, we got Joe Thuney, I know we're going to get into that later. We got Drew Dalman, we got Jonah Jackson, and I love the Ozzy Trapilo, and I love the Luke Newmans in the draft that we got. Like, the draft, the free agent, everything is catapulting us into saying that, hey, this is our division this year. We're going to start winning.
And there's a couple teams out there that have brought that, that life, that, that idea that sometimes liars figure and figures lie. And sometimes you look at things and you say, okay, this is how the season's going to go. And the team like Washington comes out and they say, whoa, 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 whoa. And then San Fran says, oh, no. With all the injuries and everything going on, gosh darn it. I mean, hey, when you got stuff like that, I'm just ready to throw my hand up and wave the white flag and say, I don't know football no more, man.
Yeah.
I really know, man. Like, what's good, So it's like trusting a fart over 40, man. You just can't do that. But I tell you what, you broke it down a little bit. You broke it down a lot, man. You left a little bit of meat on the bone for me, and I'm gonna take it.
Go ahead and eat it.
Blue cheese or ranch? I gotta know. Are you different?
Oh man, here we go. I'm a ranch guy at first. I don't mind either, but I start with ranch.
Okay, you're chunky, but not when it comes to the dipping sauce, right?
No. Not when it's got to be smooth. Got to be a smooth dip.
Smooth dip. Okay. All right, baby. All right. So listen, you talked a little bit about, from weak link to iron wall with that offensive line, man.
Yeah.
And Ozzy Trapilo jumps right out at us. We're excited about it. I mean, dude from Boston College, like, really, I'm not really, excited about Boston College and all of that, because every once in a while someone will sneak out of there. I think Ozzy might be that dude. But let's get dirty, man, in the trenches, because that's where championships are forged, man.
Yep.
And we'll try to do one without, right? I mean, last year our O-line was a punching bag. Caleb took, as you said earlier, 68 sacks, a league high gut punch, man. But Ryan Poles didn't flinch. He rebuilt this unit into a fortress. And it is time to break it down, dude. So here's the deal. First up on deck, we got Joe Thuney, all-pro guard, 2 Super Bowl rings with the Chiefs, traded for a measly 4th rounder and locked up long-term, baby. This dude gave up 1 sack last year, 1 sack. He's rocking an 84.1 PFF passing block grade. He's a veteran beast. JC, what's Thuney mean for this line? Hey, I do want to say something really quick and jump out what he means for this offensive line, what he meant for the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. His peers ranked him the most valuable player on the whole team, bro.
There you go.
That's who we got, bro. That's who we got. And he's out of the building and into ours. So what does he mean for this offensive line, man?
Man, it brings stability. He brings stability. He brings leadership. He brings experience. And obviously, he brings a certain level of play that we haven't seen on this line consistently for a number of years now. One of the things that was an issue is that we had leadership on the line last year. I even believe back when we had Tevin Jenkins on the line, he talked about the fact that Ryan Bates was the vocal leader of the line. He was the one that was pretty much holding everybody accountable. The only problem is Ryan Bates was not on the line. He wasn't on the starting lineup. It's like you had guys that were the backups that were the vocal leader. Now we actually have talented players that are in our starting lineup that are the leaders, not only on the field, but also in the locker room, and they lead by example. And all-pro is an all-pro. You can't take that away from him. Despite his age and him getting a little older, he is a consummate pro. He has a clean bill of health. He rarely gets injured. And so that's another thing that you love about it, which is why I love that they locked him up long-term. So you can see this is just not a one-year project. Joe Thuney is a guy that will impact this line and impact the level of play right away. I love the signing of Joe Thuney because I didn't expect it.
And to your point, he's got a lot of jewelry. He's got 4 rings. He played for 2 dogs, man. Who gets to play for Tom Brady? Check. Who gets to play for Patty Mahomes? Check. And now Caleb Williams, are you kidding me, bro?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
like, dude, he knows how to play on script, off script, everywhere. So there's no excuses for this guy. And he could play at any position. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means that he could teach any position too. So he's not just, he's not just laser focused, got his blinders on, just looking at, hey, whatever position is, coach, that's all I'm dealing. No. He's dealing all of it, man. He's got a full house. I like what you said there. You touched on a lot. I think he's very crucial. I think he's going to be very instrumental. And we did not have that dude in the building. Honest to God, we did not have the dude in the building. The guy that we had in the building, the elder statesman, was Tevin Jenkins, and he was never there. And you've said it all the time. You say it all the time on Pat's show, your guys' show, Windy City Gridiron or Windy City Breeze. You guys say sometimes the best ability is the availability. And they're never there. How can Ryan Poles? How can anybody? You cannot blame him or even the head coach for that matter for dudes that just don't lace it up. You know what I'm trying to say?
Bro, your voice only goes as far if you're not out there actually showing and proving as well. I understand that being a good communicator means something, but you have to back it up with your play. And if you're just hurt, unfortunately, that's part of the game, right? But if you're hurt, you're hurt. If you can't impact the game on the field, then that voice kind of gets a little bit less, response back from the team. It's a little less respectful. And so that's why I love the pickups, man. And I know you're going to get into some more of these guys on the line, but that's why I love what we got, because it everything backs up everything. It's like your play and your leadership skills, your communication skills, like it's all packed together now in the guys that we got on this team.
Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about what you said, the key word hurt. I feel that some of those injuries will turn into hurts when guys are banged up. When you've got real leaders of men, when you've got guys that have been there, done that, and they brought it, and they're not that old, like they're young, like you legit might have saw some of their game time, some of them playing on the field, and the vibe and the accountability and the culture that's going on right now. All of that matters. Like, you want to play for that dude because you've seen that dude. You're not just the very old smoking a cigarette, eating a jelly donut, on the, push, like you legit, like you saw Antoine Randall throwing darts out there, bro.
Yeah, he got an arm. Yeah. I forgot he played quarterback. What was it, Indiana? I think in college. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's multi dude. And that's what they're pushing. They're saying, hey, we want everybody to play different positions. You see your guy Pat. Tell us a little bit about that beautiful he did a video at training camp, right?
Oh my goodness.
To walk us through that, dude.
Darnell Wright. I mean, I'm not exactly sure who the quarterback was that was throwing to the lineman, but of course, Ben Johnson, being the offensive mind that he has some really crazy trick plays that he wants to kind of conjure up his sleeve this year. And some of those are going to involve, some of the oppositions. It could even involve the quarterback catching passes. It could involve maybe an offensive line catching passes. And one of the highlight plays this past minicamp was when Darnell Wright almost did an OBJ impression. I mean, it looked natural. It was like he just kind of spit and did a little ballerina twirl in the air, caught it one-handed, and it was effortless, man. So you have some talented guys here. The crazy thing is I think Darnell Wright actually went through the wide receiver drills last time, or either last year.
Really?
Mistakenly. Yeah. There's an article where it said I think he did wide receiver workouts by mistake, and that got him in better condition. And so that's what I love to hear. I love to see that, and just an amazing play by him.
Well, maybe Ozzy is taking those notes, because did you see he caught a ball today also?
Oh yeah. These guys got some talent, man. They don't just know how to block; they know how to catch too, man. So dude, watch out.
And you saw Ben Johnson. BJ, dude, he'll throw anything at you, man. It's like Mom in the kitchen. Oh, right. You thought that was good last time. I'm gonna throw a little bit of extra on it, a little something.
A little garnish. Yeah.
What was that? No, dude, it's crazy. Like, I thought it was done. I was like, okay, like we saw a offensive lineman catch a ball, jump up in the air. So glad he came down safe and nothing happened.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
A lot of weight, dude.
Yeah.
But so he comes down, he's all right. And then today, wow, I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, I just saw that video, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like, expect everything and don't know what the heck's coming at you at all ever.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. It's so cool.
It is cool. It is cool. That's one of the reasons why I love how Ben Johnson, as the further and further along you see that how they're installing this offense, this scheme, you're going to see this team become more and more comfortable with whatever it is that he has up his sleeve. And I think that's the thing is right now they're taking baby steps. Of course, there's some growing pains. There's some mistakes being made. There's little details that need to be cleaned up. But as far as like just, again, the attention to detail on this offensive line, the guys that we have, again, it's just on another level. And that's the main thing I keep going back to is that our talent level has raised, the experience level is raised, the veteran leadership and the accountability level has raised because of the guys that we picked up.
Well, and you know what? I want to talk about accountability because there's something that's kind of important that people are glossing over.
Yeah.
Jonah Jackson, man. Seriously, like we stole him from the Lions for a 5th round pick, man. A run blocking bulldozer, 75 PFF grade in 2024. He knows Ben Johnson's system inside out. How's he going to elevate this group? What does it mean to have somebody in the building that can speak that language? Like, you go to a foreign country, you go to Mexico, you go to wherever, if you got somebody riding with you that could speak that, I mean, that is crucial. That's huge. Like, whoa, what'd he say? What just, okay. So we're good, right? I trust you. I don't know what's going on here, but you can, help get me through,
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean? What does that mean to you for that offensive line to have a guy in the building like Jonah Jackson that could speak that language, man?
Honestly, Jonah Jackson to me is the most underrated player. He's the sneaky guy that we got this offseason just because a lot of people are saying that, he's being overlooked because he had a down year with Los Angeles. But I trust Ben Johnson. The fact that he said, this is the guy that I want to bring him back based off of my experience with him when he was with Detroit. He was excellent at his run blocking grade. I mean, that's what you look at. And so, again, you pair him up with the right staff and the right guys in the building. Dan Roushar, again, like that's all I care about is that coach to player pairing going to make him better or get him back to the level where he was? Yes, I think so. I love what Jonah Jackson could bring. Still young, a guy who, and it's funny, we always joke about it on our show on the Breeze in the morning. He almost looks like a doppelganger of Darnell Wright and Matt Pryor. Like they all got the flowy afro hair. Dude, it was some Google image pic we looked up, all three of them side by side. They look like triplets. But no, Jonah Jackson, I love what he potentially can do. That's another reason why I think this line will improve. And of course, it's an upgrade from what we had. Maybe a few years ago, I think it was, what was it, Nate Davis? I don't even want to get into that issue because you already know what that mess was. Day-to-day, play-to-play Nate Davis is what we used to call him. And then you had Matt Pryor, who was serviceable. I love Matt Pryor, but I think he's at his best when he's a backup. And so I think Jonah Jackson as that right guard next to Darnell Wright is going to really do some wonders.
Oh, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, 100%. Like you said, doppelganger, they look very identical. You can have somebody that's going to keep you accountable on the right bookend and Darnell Wright at center, who we're going to get into right now, Drew Dalman. Oh, man.
Yeah. Get a little tingly for that.
A little tingly, baby. Get the jazz hands for this one. No, man, but Drew Dalman, man, let's just get into it, right? Okay, so free agency gem. See, here's the thing that people don't understand. I mean, they do, but we lose track of it. So Trax is going to help you catch up and get on track. Here's the deal, man. There's 3 ways to improve your team. First, in the free agency, check. Then in the trades, check. And then in the draft. You can do it 3 different ways. It doesn't all have to be in the draft because not everybody can be 21 rookie coming out of a 5-star college and ready to play right away. You still got to have some of those vets, man. You got to have some of those tweeners. It takes a little bit of everything. And the coaching staff showed that in of itself and how they brought everybody together. It's a little bit of everything. I mean, you just talk about Dan Roushar, we'll get into later on, Dennis Allen, all that. Younger guys, and it's all very crucial to lay all that out there because that's important and that's what matters, including the players in of themselves. So, but getting back to Drew Dalman, man, I'll tell you what, talk about a gem, man. Ranked number 5 by PFF among centers, man. Lightning fast off the snap, cerebral, and a huge upgrade over Lucas Patrick struggles, man. What's your take on holding it down with him, man? What's your take on that guy?
Well, as you mentioned, the upgrade is already evident over someone that barely got on the field. Again, when we talked about availability being the best ability, Lucas Patrick, man, he had his struggles just staying on the field. He's the potential to kind of stabilize that center position, but there was just a turnstile there. I believe who else was there before we let him go? I think Cody Whitehair had some chances there as well. There was another name I can't remember of a guy.
Dude from Notre Dame.
Yeah. Like we went through a little carousel of centers, and it was like, okay, we're not getting this down pat. And then, of course, Coleman Shelton, he had the brain, he had the knowledge, right? Yeah. He has the IQ for the game, but he's just undersized. He was getting bullied. He was getting pushed back all the time. Me and Pat, we joked all the time that this guy was getting babied and knocked on his backside every time he hiked the ball. And so now you have a serviceable, not even serviceable, you have an above average center that you got from Atlanta and Drew Dalman, and he's still in the prime of his career. I love this again because he's one of those guys that's a real Grady. He's very good at run blocking as well. And that's what I think we need. I think you needed a center that was going to stabilize this line. The last time we had a really good line, as far as I can remember, it was after Olin retired. I can't remember the name of the center we had. I don't know. Was it Roberto Garza?
Yeah,
Roberto Garza. To me, that's the last time.
He didn't start out at center, so.
Yeah. So it's like how long ago was that? So for me, it's like that's where I think the operation will be felt the most is you have a guy that's going to be a really good signal caller, calling out the defense, able to snap the ball, which is it's crazy to think that we got a center that actually snapped the ball properly and hike it like come on. So love the Drew Dalman signing, love that guy in the middle to kind of solidify everything on the line.
I mean, you even go back to Justin where he had to put the cape on and just grab it out of the sky.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Or the worm burners off the grass. It was either too low or too high. I'm like, man, are we at a batting cage in Gary, Indiana or what? Like, let's dial it in the field. It's bad, dude, So, I mean, I'm excited about it. And listen, here's the deal with Drew. He's right next to Thuney, man. And that is going to be that he hasn't even unlocked. Like he's young. He's still young. There's a lot to learn from Thuney, man. This guy can unlock a lot more. He's not done yet. He might start out as number 5. Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't want to read the witness too much, but it's there for you if you can read between the lines.
There you go.
So let's talk about this other guy, man. He is a dog, dude. What's up, D Nice in the building? Appreciate you, buddy.
What's going on?
Yeah, let's talk about this dude right here. You were talking about him right when you first come in. Oh man, look at that guy. Monster, man, a monster.
Dude, a mountain of a man.
Oh, dude. Oh, how about it, man? Ozzy Trapilo, 6'6". Yeah. You can't teach 6'6", bro.
No.
320 pounds. That's pretty light, actually, for 6'6" for offensive lineman, man. And he's got a long span, too. Long reach. 320 pounds of fury, a third-round steal. Third round, bro.
Yes.
He's raw. He's mean. And he's learning from Dan Roushar. You spoke about that earlier. A coach who's minted 6 Pro Bowlers in 10 years. 6 Pro Bowlers in 10 years, folks.
Yes.
PFF got Thuney at number 2 amongst guards, Dalman at number 5 amongst centers. JC, could this O-line crash to the top 10 by week 8, bro? Is it possible?
Whoo, man, you want to say top 10 by week 8? I'll tell you what, if they remain healthy, I could see a route to being a top 10 offensive line. I mean, you already have the accolades on the wall with Drew and with obviously the All Pro and Joe Thuney. I think Ozzy Trapilo is going to be a very under the radar pick because obviously the competition there is going to be him, Braxton Jones, and Karan Amageji. And honestly, I know the experience kind of gives Braxton a leg up, but if we're being honest, and in my opinion, I think we've seen the potential or the ceiling of Braxton Jones. We don't know what Ozzy Trapilo will bring. And then, like I said, he's a mountain of a man. You mentioned his measurable 6'6", 320 pounds, mean, can kind of, it's light on his feet for a bigger guy. And even when we were watching the draft, I remember me and Pat and the crew, we were at a bar watching the draft, had a draft party. And one of the notes or the positives on him, it literally said he has the potential to be a day one starter. And so you can tell that this guy, just, being in Boston College, be a third round pick, he has the mindset. Even when you hear him talk in press conferences and in interviews, he has a certain mindset and maturity that you can't teach as well. He understands the game. And that's one of the things even Ben Johnson said, is that this guy is getting the playbook down right away. Like, he has a cerebral mindset. He's smart. He's very intelligent. So he could honestly win out right away at left tackle. And honestly, I think he will do wonders there as well.
I agree, man. I mean, anywhere these guys you put them, they can bounce around, man. I played left tackle, I played right tackle. They even tried to move me in at guard, but I'm 6'6" also. I think he might actually be 6'7". Now, I wasn't projected to go in the third round, but got it, in the second round, and then they bounce back and forth depending on who you talk to about Thuney. But I mean, the fact remains the facts, man. This guy, he could have legit, in my opinion, the way that I seen him right now, and I know this is the one underwear Olympics and they're not making contact yet, but the way he looks right now, he could legit be a first rounder, man. Seriously. But it all depends. It's the trend of how the draft is going. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really matter at that. We've seen undrafted guys play really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends. But this guy, he's ridiculous, man. I think he might crack the starting. I don't know if it's going to be right away. To me, it's not a matter of if, JC, it's a matter of when. That's how I feel about him,
Yeah.
But here's the guy that we've all been waiting to talk about, man. Caleb Williams, baby, the star that's ready to shine.
Let's go.
Man, I'll tell you what, the man under center, Caleb Williams, going into his second year, but as a rookie, he had a roller coaster ride, man. 3,527 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 picks. Bears rookie records were smashed, but 68 sacks, 3 play callers, and chaos held him back, man. Still, those flashes of brilliance had us dreaming, JC. With this new O-line and coaching staff, what's Caleb's ceiling to you in 2025, bro?
Well, hopefully it's not what Michael Jordan said. I think he said the ceiling is the roof. One time mistakenly. No. The ceiling is going to be the sky. It's there's no ceiling for what Caleb could potentially do with more protection. Again, a lot of people say he had a down year. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, he lost out to Jaden Daniels and he should have been the second quarterback taken, all of this negativity. But when you look at all of the chaos that was around him during his rookie season, the interchange of OCs, the fact that he didn't even have Shane Waldron going over play calls and game film with him to prepare him for the next week is insane. It's like, with all that in mind, he still had the season that he had. And then he ended it out. We talked about it, them ending it out 5-12. But the fact that he ended it out with the win in Lambeau Field, and I don't know if you remember seeing, there was a clip of him walking through the Lambeau Field hallway to the locker room, and he let out a yell about, bigger things are coming. That this is just the start. Oh, that's the mindset of a leader. So going into this year, now that he has better protection, he's got even more weapons. We thought that he had weapons last year when we got Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Like we have a slew of weapons at receiver. We got tight end Colston Loveland added to the max with Cole Kmet. We got even better running backs. I think I'm not even. I feel like the 7th round pick Kyle Monungai is a sleeper in my opinion. Big 10 rushing yards leader.
Sir, let's go.
Like that
And
to
never
me.
gave up the rock. Never gave up the rock.
Never. 0 fumbles.
Dude, that is a discipline in of itself. This man has several disciplines. One of them is ball security. Now, there's going to be times as a rookie, be like, all right, get in there. And the best, we talked about it a couple times already. You talk about it all the time on your show and our show. The best ability is availability. Just don't put us in a bad position. Do what Caleb did. Do not cough up the rock. Don't cause a bunch of fumbles. Don't throw a bunch of interceptions. Just take care of it. And I feel like this guy can do that and grow out of that, especially when you got a guy that's keeping you accountable in practices, already saying, you move like an old man.
Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy, bro. Dude, I'll tell you what, this guy, you got to love him, because here's the deal. Towards the end of minicamp, dude had a different speed. Pat dropped another video. I think Dave did too. A couple guys dropped that video. I piggybacked off that. It was everywhere, man. And he looked crisp, dude. He looked crisp coming in and out,
No, he was nice. He was definitely nice. But I mean, like, even going back to your point about Caleb, man, one of the things Ben Johnson mentioned, even from this past week with the mini camp, when the offense started winning the day, I think even 2 days in a row, one of the things that he mentioned is that in the situational drills where it was, I believe, they had to go 90 yards and maybe there was like a minute left or whatever, that's when Caleb turned it on and he just played football. I think that's when Caleb is at his best. When the lights are the brightest, he is not nervous. He doesn't shy away from the moment. And we actually saw that a lot last year, even though it didn't end well. We saw Caleb multiple times drive the team down the field, whether it be on 3rd and long, 4th and 12, 3rd and 19. You threw it to Roma Dunze for the first. You threw it to DJ Moore for a setup for a field goal. Like there were so many opportunities where Caleb actually delivered. And then maybe because of bad coaching, time management, whatever, they went away from him passing, whatever the case may be, it didn't work out. Where there was a few times where he kind of held the rock a few times and got sacked. But all in all, Caleb, he has that in him. He has that it factor where he's going to put you in a position to succeed. He's going to put you in a position to win the game.
And I tell you what, you speak right on point about that, and to back up just a little bit into what you said, because you said a lot right there, and I don't want to gloss over this part. The fact remains is we're not this year. The Bears are not calling plays just to call plays like, oh, well, let's run the ball. Let's run a draw up the middle. Let's run it. Let's run it right. I had what do you call it? Great Olin Crouton like a year ago or so, something like it might have been a little bit. How you get older, it was like, a year, 2 years, whatever. It wasn't
all come together.
So he was on, dude, and this is what he said. He goes, if you run the ball left, we're gonna get positive yards. I was listening to that, dude, and when I watched that, I'm like, we got positive yards every time. We just blocked better on the left side. Getting back to that. I really feel like we got the people in the building to call plays like, Ben Johnson. Okay, all that Eric Bieniemy, it's all Roushar. He's going to get all his, offensive linemen dialed in. They're all going to know the assignment. There's not anybody out there that's not going to know the assignment, well equipped and ready to go. And you look at this whole offensive line, you are not going to have two rookies side by side. That doesn't matter how you cut it. A lot could happen where I could be proven wrong, but right out the gate, and God forbid that doesn't happen. But I'm just saying, like, logistically, right out the gate, we're set up to where you're not going to have two rookies or two guys that are just learning things. Like, these guys are proven vets, and I think that's important, because you look at teams like Miami, I think Pittsburgh did it. And there was one other team where they had multiple rookie offensive linemen, and they struggled throughout the season. At the end of the year, they got better, and that's all fine if you can, weather the storm. But I like this a lot better, and I feel like we have a better chance of winning when you got those guys in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah, I do feel like we have a better chance with those guys in the building. It's exciting times, man. Honestly, I don't want to temper expectations. I know a lot of times when we talk on our show about what do we expect the Bears to do, especially with the challenging schedule,
Yeah.
maybe we go maybe 8, 9 wins. I'm thinking that we go 10 plus, man. As you
Oh,
already said, worst to first. I think we're going 10 plus,
yeah.
especially if by week 6 or 7 this line is gelled together. Their chemistry is there. Caleb is dotting it up to, and him and DJ are on the same page. You got
Yeah.
Luther Burden that's coming along as a rookie.
What?
Roma Dunze is taking that second-year leap.
Oh, yeah.
Colston Cole, DeAndre Swift has a better total scrimmage yards, from last year. Like he's building off of that. Like there's just so much that could potentially go really, really well. Oh, I love that guy. I don't know how in the world we got him where we got him. He was supposed to be, I think Matt Miller had him ranked 13th as far as talent wise in the draft. So
Yeah.
Luther Burden was a nice pickup, but all in all, man, yeah, Caleb is going to look good with all of these new pieces around him.
Bro, for reals. I mean, I'm excited all the way inside and out, man. You know, they're doing something. And here's the deal, they were comfortable coming into the draft. Nobody had no idea which way the Bears are going to go because they did their due diligence in the free agency and in the trades that when it come time for the draft, they could pick best player available.
Yep.
And they did it time and time and time again, bro. You know, I mean, getting Luther Burden, are you freaking kidding me? That was a first rounder that we got in the
Steal.
second. Bro.
Yeah.
Seriously. Unbelievable, man. So here's the deal, man. Let's get into this. Let's talk about the elite coaching, man, and why it matters, man. Ben Johnson, the architect of the Lions' top 3 offense, and Eric Bieniemy, who sculpted Mahomes into a legend. How massive this duo could be. How massive could they be for Caleb, bro?
Huge. I think this is the coaching staff that can take Caleb to where he wants to be, which is elite status, which is top 10 quarterback in the league, top 5 quarterback in the league. Eventually, we saw some of the comments that Ben Johnson made earlier on in the offseason where he said Caleb is going to surpass 4,000 yards, and he's going to do it season after season. He's going to get 30-plus touchdowns. Those are marks that we haven't seen from a Bears quarterback ever. That's ridiculous. But it's going to happen. And then, of course, Eric Bieniemy. First of all, with those two, the attitude that they have, like you mentioned before, him getting in, grilling his running backs. Ben Johnson grilling Cole Kmet about setting up a yard off from where he's supposed to be setting up. He's like, I'm trying to get you the ball. Like there's an accountability that these coaches are already implementing into their training and into the off season. That when you look at it, you have to give it respect. You have to. They're holding the great players on this team, the veterans, the leaders of this team accountable, and that's going to trickle down to the rest of the roster. And so it's only going to make everybody better. That's the impact I think those two and also the other guys on the staff are going to have is the accountability is going to raise. It's not going to, slide off to the wayside like we saw with Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron, where they claimed, in the Hard Knocks episode that preparation was the key, and every time we prep, every week it's going to get us to the Super Bowl. That's what makes the teams that separates the great teams from the bad teams, and all that mess, all that talk, and all that gobbledygook. That's all in the past. Ben Johnson is actually showing you by his attitude and the way he's coaching up these guys that he means business.
I love that, man. And you know what? And they're showing it in not just by the way they talk, by the way they walk, man. You could see it everywhere. And here's the deal. They're so star-studded, man. They kind of remind me of the Dream Team. Like you go through these, look at this, man. This is crazy. Start off with this dude right off the rip, Ben, Dennis Allen.
Oh.
Eric Bieniemy. Hey, you know what? I want you to unpack this man too a little bit. Antoine Randall. What does Antoine Randall mean to JC, man? What does he mean to the Bears, dude?
Well, first of all, I love the fact that you just got a guy that came from Chicago. I mean, he's born and raised from here, so he breathes life into that mentality that Chicago has.
Yeah.
that grit, working hard, that work ethic, and you can see that through his coaching. You
Yeah.
saw there was a clip of him when he was coaching up James on Williams on the Lions, where he was on the sideline. They had a little back and forth, and I guess James on didn't agree with whatever route or whatever play, and hey, Antoine was in his face like, hey, you better get it right. Like holding again, accountable is what I keep going back to. I love this pickup. Not only is he the wide receiver coach, I believe he's also the assistant head coach as well. And that's what you want, is you want somebody who is going to be uh, 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 holding you to a higher standard than we've ever had. That's how you change the culture, right? It's not just about saying it, and like you said, it's about walking the walk and talking the talk. Those are the guys that you've seen also, even when they were athletes, hold themselves accountable, hold themselves to a higher standard. They are part of winning. They're part of a winning culture. When he was in Pittsburgh, like that's a winning culture organization. And so that's what you love that's being brought into the building.
For sure, man. And I tell you what, it doesn't stop there, man. Look, you got
We got
JT. JT, man. I mean, here's the deal. Young guy, played at a high level,
yeah.
Ohio State, young enough to still, Caleb and him can talk and all of that and connect. And I think it's important to bring a guy like that into the building. I think it's important for sure. They knew what they were doing with this for sure, man. Ben definitely did.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely agree with this pick as well. I've always had a fondness for just the talent level and the level of talent coming out of Ohio State. Even when it was Justin, I mean, you got your Chris Olaves, you had Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. You had who else is coming from there? I'm forgetting names, but like you have a slew of running backs, receivers, linemen. Like Ohio State really pushes out a lot of good product coming to the NFL. And so with JT being a really good coach, like that's exactly the type of mindset that you want. He comes from a high standard as well.
Absolutely, man. And I think that's important. And that's something that you just can't gloss over because when you have those and you look, it's rinse and repeat for places like Ohio State. And I promise you, take a look at Detroit. Will they take a step back? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? I mean, they're not going to be the absolute juggernaut. Now, I think Morton's going to surprise us. I really think. I talking to Jim Miller about this, and listen to him also, him and Pat Kerwin. They really like Johnny Morton, and they said at the end of the day, the guy that's calling it, everything is still in the building in Mr. Dan Campbell. So is it going to look different? Are they going to struggle? And then they're missing their key centerpiece, which is huge, which is crucial. He's been there for everything. I mean, the dude was cold, man, and
Talking about Frank Reich now?
Yeah, Frank,
Yeah, man.
Frank, man, that was huge. That was
Yeah.
huge. That
Yeah.
they lost Frank the Tank. You cannot. Now I know that they've got they picked up a guy I didn't really believe in, but I think he's a good backup piece. But they got that guard that they what do you call it? Picked up from Georgia Bulldogs, and I think he'll do all right. But it's not Frank, bro. You cannot
Yeah.
replace Frank. That's crucial. That's important. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's too many moving pieces that are going in the wrong direction. They've lost way too much to not. If they can withstand this now, and here's where I'm getting with this, I think this will cement this guy into a really good coach because there's been some guys, and I'm not saying this on Bears on Tracks that he's gonna be the next great head coach, but he's on his way to being one of those because when you lose all that, JC, that's huge, right? If you can still withstand that storm and keep it moving.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Detroit will still be for lack of a better word, more competitive, or rather competitive still. I think
Yeah.
they did lose a lot of good pieces. Obviously, they lost their OC, they lost their DC as well. But I mean, as you mentioned, they still got the big guy that's heading the whole thing, and they still have a really good defense now. It was hurt during the playoffs, which is why Washington, I think, exposed them a little bit. But I mean, you're bringing back some really good pieces still. They do have to kind of shore up that offensive line just a little bit more with some of the pieces that are gone now. Especially that center position. But I still think Detroit will be a viable competitor in the division. I wanted to mention shout out to one of your guys, Cricket Commish. He said we got a short window with this coaching staff. Once we start winning, our coaches start to get poached. I disagree, and the reason this is why I love this staff too. A lot of them have already tried and had experience at higher coaching levels. Dennis Allen has already been a head coach. Unfortunately, he failed. He's locked in.
Twice and
he's tried twice.
You ain't gonna get it the third.
He's good at being a defensive coordinator. He has the track record of being really good at what he's doing now. So he's not craving to go somewhere else or looking to, upgrade his resume. Eric Bieniemy, for whatever reason, he can't get an HC job. Like he's already had chances at the Apple when he was with Kansas City, behind Andy Reid. And so he's really good where he's at now with running back. I mean, he trained up Adrian Peterson. You look at Al Harris. Al Harris has been there, done that. He's a very good DBs coach. Like all these guys we have on this star-studded this staff, they've already been there and done that. And so you're not scared of any of them saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to jump ship once, this looks good enough for me to become a new head coach and try to go somewhere else. No, this staff could be here to stay for quite some time.
Dan Roushar, he's been doing it for forever. And I talked to Jim, because both Michigan State alum. He loves this guy, man. He can't speak highly enough about him. I'm excited. You saw Olin Crudon XAP jump right out. I mean, he didn't even leave an hour before I was like, whoa. And he's excited. Like, when was the last time he was excited about a line coach that we had? Like, they offered him, I think it was either 15 or $16 an hour, Olin Kreutz, to be an offensive line consultant at one point. That is disrespectful. That's a slap.
Come on, that's a slap in the face, man. Come on,
a fry cook at McDonald's for that, dude.
Come on, man.
And get Benny's and all that. Like, what are we doing? And get the fries, dude. The fries, and the hot apple pie,
hot apple pie and ice cream cone and everything.
Oh, sorry, the ice cream machine is broken. Dude,
that was crazy.
So many perks, dude. So many perks there. No, but honestly, and that's what their respect level was for offensive line. And they know now. They know now, bro. They know now. So yeah, I agree. I do agree to what Crooked said if it wasn't with the people that we have in the building right now. If you know a little bit about the backstory, anywhere else, that would definitely agree. That would be a cookie cutter's response to that. But like you said, I feel like they did their due diligence and their homework before they, landed all this staff. And that's good. And that's important because you want to keep that chemistry going. You want to keep that culture. You want to keep that vibe in the building where everything is rinse and repeat. I'm excited about it. And you got into the weapons, though. I want to talk about the weapons because as important as it is to bring in a winning culture, a culture where you grind, you try hard, you show up every day, you be your brother's keeper, you got his six, all this and that. You can't do it without the players, without the weapons. And you went over those weapons. They're important. You're loaded. At one point, we only had DJ Moore, man. He's a stud, though. He's a stud. And sometimes he gets lost with all the new toys, like you got kids and they get the new toys and the other ones kind of get pushed back. And it's like, hey, that was new not that long ago, kid. Let's pick this up. Let's play with it a little bit. And then you kind of like play with it for a little bit to see if they get excited again, and I feel like we've already, it was that quick that we've kind of like lost, track about DJ. I don't even think we've brought his name up. Maybe if we did one time earlier in the show, but there's so many new weapons here. Roma Dunze back, dude, second year. Oh my gosh. And he's got a real coach. You talked about Antoine Randall, receiver coach. Oh my. And then you said Luther Burden. Ooh. Oh my gosh. He could quite possibly be, and you've heard people say this, the steal in the draft of the entire draft. And we picked him up, man. Are you freaking kidding me? And he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got first round speed. He's a speed demon with 4.3 jets. He joins the party. Add Cole Kmet and rookie Colston Loveland. You spoke about him earlier, and it's a nightmare for defenses. Can anyone stop this attack, bro? Seriously. Do you think anyone can?
I mean, the meaty Bears fan in me will want to say no. I mean, there's just so many wonderful names that you just railed off. But honestly, it has to be shown first, right? We have to prove it.
Yeah.
Everything on paper, you can have a roster that looks godly on paper,
Yep.
but at the same time, what matters is what you put on the field. And that's where the work comes into play. That's where all these hours and the mini camps and the OTAs and the training camp, that's where it's going to matter whether or not they gel, they build their chemistry, and they actually show the talent that they have. But at a certain point, yes, it could be very difficult for defenses to scheme up and pinpoint one of these guys. You want to try and take DJ Moore out of the game? Okay, well, we got Roma Dunze, who's potentially a wide receiver one. He looks like he's gotten a little bit more, heavier in the upper body. Like he talked about, putting on more weight to kind of get across, get away from the pushing and the grabbing on the line from his defenders and trying to go downfield. You want to try to cut him off? Okay, well, we got DJ, or we got Luther Burden, who's a very good route runner and a good yards after catch route runner, because they compared him to DJ Moore, oddly enough, in the draft. Now you got Colston Loveland, who is a route tree god from Michigan. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not really do a lot of deep dive on him before the draft. I was all in on the buddy from Purdue. I'm not Purdue, Penn State. First and foremost, as far as tight end positions go. So when we got to 10, I was like, oh, hey, let's go. Let's get him. But then when we got Colston Loveland, I did more reading. I'm like, oh, this might be that guy. He might be the guy that even plays almost like a wide receiver, but has the body of a tight end. And so you love that. And then you got Cole Kmet. Then you got DeAndre Swift, who's a good pass-catching running back out of the backfield. Cal Manung guy, Roshan Johnson. The list goes on and on. Then you haven't even mentioned the fact Olamide Zaccheaus, who was a really good slot receiver for the Redskins. Devin Duvernay, who's been impressing in camp, is not just a returner. He's a decent backup wide receiver. Tyler Scott, whose name has kind of not been mentioned. Like, we still got talent on talent on this roster. Yeah. So it could really look dangerous eventually.
Oh, dude, hands down, without a doubt. And that's why I don't get excited when everybody starts talking about, could we potentially get this running back? Could we potentially get that? Like, dude, I'm good. Trust the process, man. Like, you can't see, like, here's the problem. We go out and we get Ben Johnson. And now we're so critical. Like, you hear people right now like, Colston Loveland, really? Like, wait, really? Yes, he understood. When he picked up the phone and he talked to Colston, everybody heard it. He said how important it is. You are my first pick. We're going to have some fun. Like, they know what's about to go down, man. And you hear all those great offensive mind coaches and what they like to do when they run the 12. And the thing about it is, when you run those dubs tight ends, here's the deal. You see what the defense got. Now, if you show me an extra linebacker and you have one less defensive back on the field because you got that linebacker, now I'm going to move my guy and I'm going to position him and I'm going to slide him out to receiver. Now I got a mismatch, baby. That linebacker, he's not ready for my speed. He's not ready for me to catch that ball. There's a lot of mismatches, and I think, and a healthy time, I think I heard Pat Kerwin say on Moving the Chains, I think it's like 35%, which is actually a lot of the time that they're in the 12 formation. So we could get really sneaky with this, man. It could be good. It could be really good. I'm excited about it. And listen, I do like the fact that Ben called, and you heard Olin say this. He called because he wasn't excited about it right out the gate. Why would Cole? Because I'm that dude. I'm the number one tight end. Nobody's been coming for my job at all. And now you go get this guy in the first round. Really? Really? Yep. What are we doing here? You're a brand new coach. I have no idea what you're about to do. Hey, listen, this is what we're going to do. Oh, okay. This is what we're going to do. You actually come into the plan? Let's get it. And the plan involves me still? That's important. Talk about why that's important, JC.
Well, I think Cole Kmet still has a spot and has something to prove. When I believe it was his last interview, he talked about, do you think that now that Colston is in the building, do you view yourself as the wily veteran of this team for that position? Like, are you here to be a mentor for him now? And I think he mentioned he's not at that age yet. So he still feels like he has a lot to prove. I think he dated it back to back when Jimmy Graham was on the team, and
Oh,
how even when Jimmy Graham, I believe he was age 32 or somewhere along those lines, where he was learning from him, and he put in a lot of mentorship with Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet said he has a lot still that he wants to add to his game, that he still has a lot to prove.
yeah.
By all standards, I think Cole Kmet had a down year just because maybe Caleb and him weren't on the same page all the time. But when he did go to Cole, he had some really good games. I dated back to the one versus Jacksonville, I think in Europe, when he had a really, really good game, a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
And that kind of shows you the potential. And so Cole Kmet's just not somebody that we're just going to look over now just because we got a younger, faster, speedier tight end. Now,
Right.
no, it's just going to make it that much more dangerous. Like you said, when you have those defenses that could key in on the quarterback, well, now you're going to move that tight end over. Now you're going to have to account for two of these guys that are going to be in open space. Cole Kmet is still a decent route runner. And so that's what I love about this scheme, is that you have so many weapons that you have to account for. You can't really just pinpoint one.
Absolutely. And you know what? You don't know which way we're coming, and people can play multiple positions. I love that. That's important. That's crucial. Cheryl, thank you for giving us the Cubs update.
Oh,
6
yeah.
The Tigers.
Let's go.
Cubs go for a series win tomorrow at 1:40. So
Love
you
that.
make sure you tune in and check that out. It gives you something to do on Sunday,
Yeah.
So here's the deal, man. I want to get into a little bit of analysis with you, JC, really quick. Analysis are saying, analysts are saying that 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, for Caleb. Realistic, or are we lowballing Caleb's breakout? Where do you see him at, bro?
I would say if we were more along in understanding the game plan, and this wasn't the first year install of Ben Johnson's, new offense and scheme,
Love that.
that maybe we're lowballing it a little bit. But I think that yes, he could still,
Yeah.
I could still see him getting a little bit over 4,000 yards. What did he have last year?
35, almost 30.
Almost 3,600 yards. He had 20 what is it, 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions,
Yep.
I believe. And so if you build off of
500
those
yard
numbers,
rush.
yeah, I think maybe he could get maybe just under 30 touchdowns, or maybe at that mark. I do believe he will be the first quarterback to eclipse both of those. There's no doubt about it. Now, will he do it this year? I don't know if both will be done this year. I believe he'll get over 4,000 this year and maybe right now in 30. But realistically, Caleb, even if he does that, I think it's just a matter of still contributing to winning. To me, that matters more. We actually had a stat, and Pat brought it up on the show. It was strange until I caught it. I said he compared one quarterback stats, and the stats were, it was like under 3,000 yards for the year. It was like 2,800 yards passing, only maybe 16 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, something like that last year. It ended up being Jalen Hurts' stat line.
Wow.
Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl winning quarterback now. Philadelphia, but of course, with the tandem of Saquon Barkley, it's okay, but if you have 2,800 yards, because he almost had the same amount of yards himself, on the ground. And so when you put that together, I think that's where you kind of don't have to overrate those passing yards for a quarterback, because if the whole team is humming, and you have the run game going, and you have the pass game going, and all these weapons are being utilized, man, if he can get 4,028 touchdowns, I'm fine with that, as long as we get wins.
No, I mean, you're not lying. And I like what you said there. I think it's important that, as long as we got wins, the numbers are going to be there regardless. I feel like the numbers are going to be there. But it's interesting, and I think it's a good problem to have when we're trying to figure all this out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going back to mama's cooking, it's going to be good. We just want to know what it's going to be a little bit different this time. What's she going to do? What's she going to do? So I think it's going to be good, man. But claws out. We're ready to strike. Let's talk a little bit about defense, man. Let's flip the script. Here's the deal. The defense in 2024, it was decent, man. I'm not gonna lie. 12th in yards, but 20th in points and 23rd against the run. We can't do that anymore. Too soft up front. Here's the deal. This offseason, Poles added teeth, man. Grady Jarrett, check. 3-time Pro Bowler, and Shamar Turner, the burner, man. A second-round menace, man. JC, What's this D line looking like for you now, man?
It looks dangerous. It looks potentially very, very dangerous.
Yep.
Compared to even last year when we got out the gate really good. I think we had the pass rush win rate was really good with some of the pieces we had last year. Well,
Mm,
the upgrade is obvious this year. Billings is back. He's got a clean bill of health. You got Javon Dexter that looks like he's been in the gym every single day, just getting bigger and
bro.
swoller. Like
Oh,
he's ready for all out season. I think he's going to get consistent with his attack on the quarterback. You got Dio Adangbo, who I think is underrated. That's going to be good. You got Grady Jarrett, who continues to say all the right things. He said he still has a lot to prove, even though he's getting a little older in the tooth. I think him being on the field is going to have an impact. And then, of course, Shamar Turner. I think Shamar Turner is going to be extremely good because he doesn't have to feel like he has to come in and perform at a high level. He can kind of, wait in the wings and kind of learn from all of these different guys in front of him and just be that guy that just kind of peels his ears back and goes for the quarterback every single time. Just play free. And that's what's so dangerous about the interior, mainly about this line, is you got 4 to 5 players. I think Billings even said it best in his past press conference is there's no drop off. There's no drop off in talent. You're going to have to account for all of it. It's not just the 2 starting, defensive interior linemen. It's going to be all 4 or 5 of us that's going to be coming for you. And the quickest route to the quarterback is from the inside. So watch out.
Oh, dude, I love that. The quickest is to the inside, so watch out. And listen, I heard Warren Sapp on what do you call it? The Pro Football Hall of Fame on Sirius XM Radio, channel 88. They're on early in the morning. Don't worry, it's before you. I'm
Okay.
still watching, bro. I'm still watching, okay?
No,
But
you're good, man.
but dude, Warren Sapp said, "Hey, listen, they're throwing the ball 45, 50 times a game now. Okay. So you're not just going to get hired to be a run stopper only. And here's the deal. As much as he loves and everybody loves Aaron Donald, his kryptonite was stopping the run. It
Yeah.
was awful. It was really bad. And he even agrees to it. Now, Aaron Donald is that dog, dude. He's that beast. But make no mistake about it. They know what they have to do. You have to be multi dual threat type thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to basically remove yourself from a conversation like the old slotted screwdriver, the flathead screwdriver. You want to be the slotted. They've even got the square out, they've got the star. You got to be able to do all of that, man. You basically want to be a Swiss Army knife of screwdrivers. You want to be able to do a little bit of everything. I think a guy like Shamar Turner can do that. I think a guy like you just spoke about earlier, who's been in the building all the time. We were talking a little bit about the 3 technique. I remember last time when I was talking to you, still potentially doing our due diligence and looking out there. Now, I talked to Tommy Harris, and not many that we had did it better at the 3 technique. You know what I'm trying to say? But he really likes what we have. He really thinks like his physical attributes, his speed, his hands, all that type of stuff. He really thinks that we're going to be okay. So I'm excited about that. I like everybody else that you talked about that we've brought in. And I think what's cool about that is you can bring guys in and out and give them a little bit of breathing room. Now, I will tell you this, 40 minutes of the 60 minutes of football without going into overtime, the defense was on the field. That means 2/3 of the game, they were on their feet, man. They weren't sitting down. Tell me what that means like to you in your workplace. If you are that guy that you see that guy sitting down all the time and you're on your feet for 40 minutes of the shift and he's only got to get on for 20 minutes of the shift at best, I mean, we're still giving them a little bit of credit. You might have special teams on there a little bit, so it might even be less. But talk about how important that is as far as like health and having energy and not being just like a shell of yourself out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, all of these athletes in the off season, they're preparing themselves for being in good condition, good
Yep.
health, ready for the season. But I mean, realistically, even when you're in the game, if you're playing 3/4 of the game, if you're on the field for 2/3 of the time, that's still going to wear you out. That's going to make you exhausted. Depending on the weather conditions too, like there's a lot of different factors. And
Yeah.
so if you're seeing, the offense go 4 and out all the time and
Yeah.
kicking, to the other team after four attempts, it's like that wears on you mentally too, because it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm out here doing my job,
Yep.
but you guys aren't, moving down the field. Let's get a little bit of a breather over here, man. We're doing our part. When are you going to do yours? And that's one of the reasons why I am more excited about this year, is because it looks like, as we've seen in mini camp, the offense is winning some days, the defense is winning most of the time, but you're seeing them kind of grow together. That's what you want to see. You want to see a balance. So when it comes to the season, you won't have the defense wearing out. I love the depth that we have. Now, the depth I think will go a long way in also keeping some of our guys fresh
Yeah.
and healthy. Whether it be having Jarrett come in and out for Shamar, or Grady, Jarrett, or rather for Javon Dexter. But all in all, both sides of the ball have to do their part to kind of help both sides be fresh, if that
Yes,
makes
sir.
sense.
I agree. No, wholeheartedly, 100%. You're absolutely right. I feel like they're going to do that. That was one thing that I actually liked that Eberflus did with his defensive line, was by committee. I think we're going to be able to do that. I think Dennis Allen's going to do that also, from what I've seen with him with the Saints and all that. And our offensive line also, as much as there is in our receivers, like legit, like with the 12, you don't have to worry about burning your receivers out or your tight ends. We got lots of running backs. I mean, there's even this dude that we picked up, and I'm excited to see
Oh, yeah.
Deion Hankins, man. Look at that guy,
Yes.
dude. He is a beast. He's a physical
Yes.
beast, man. I mean, I don't know a lot about this guy, but I know that he is not shy about hitting the gym, man.
The only thing I can say about him, man, is I saw a little bit of tape, the little bit of tape that I think YouTube might have of him.
Yeah.
Man, he's a bulldozer. He will run you over and not ask questions. Like he. I don't know if you ever remember back in the day, I believe it was the '90s and maybe early 2000s. The Giants had Brandon Jacobs.
Yes, Jacobs.
Like
Oh
to
my.
me, I don't know if he's that big, but to
Yeah.
me, he reminds me of him. Like
Yeah.
he's just gonna plow you over. Like
Yeah.
you want somebody like that on your
Yeah.
team. The fact that he went undrafted, I'm like, that might be another gem. Like we found
Exactly.
a couple of really decent running backs late in the draft and
Yep.
outside of the draft that
Yep.
could actually stay on this roster. That's
Hey,
insane.
hey, we got like a bulldozer Arian Foster
Yeah.
undrafted
Oh,
guy
I
on
like
the
that. I
team, you
like
know what I
that.
mean? Come
I
on.
like that. I like
So,
that.
let's get into listen, talk about wearing a guy out. I don't wanna wear out my welcome with you. It's great to have you on the show. I don't want this to be your last time, and I promise you
Oh
now.
no, no worries, man. I'm having fun.
I'm just saying, man. So listen, man, back on track with tracks. Let's talk about Dennis Allen keeping it on the defense, man, the defensive side. Dennis Allen's the new DC. His stats defense were top 10, all pressures and chaos, man. With Jalen Johnson going against JJ, man, week one, that's going to be crazy. But with Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon locking down the secondary, can this unit hit elite status, bro?
Yes, absolutely. One of the areas that Ryan Poles has never, I think, missed on is DBs, the secondary. And you're talking about the depth as well. You got Terrell Smith, who by all accounts could be a starter on any other team in the
Mm,
league.
yeah,
Tariq Stevenson, who and Pat knows, and the other guys know from Windy City Kid. Like I grill Stevenson. Sometimes I can't stand him for what he did last year and not
yeah,
being disciplined. Like there are moments where he gets kind of get killed in his one-on-one matchups. It makes me think of him versus Houston when Nico Collins killed him in that game. But I think that this year again, with the coaching and the player pairing, you have an Al Harris who was really dominant in the league as well with his
yeah.
time in Green Bay. I think with that coaching up of those guys and them being already at a certain point skill wise, this unit can be elite. This unit can be very, very good. I love Kyler Gordon. I love Spider-Man. I love the fact he is not scared to kind of get in those trenches when he's in those on those blitz packages. He's trying to maneuver through the line to get to the quarterback. He always seems to find his way to the backfield. Like that guy is I think going to be elite this year. Jalen Johnson, you already know what he does. He's been a household name for a couple of years now. Shutdown corner, goes against the number one receiver. I think that he's going to be following the number one receiver this year. I don't think he's going to be staying on just one side. And so, those matchups are going to be important, but I think the Bears have the team to do wonders with that as well.
I do too, man. And you look at like a nickel 3-3, you look at, a dime, quarters where you got like a cross between it's like a hybrid man zone and all this kind of stuff. You look at Mr. Meany over here. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was surprised nobody actually was saying it. Now somebody, if you watch the show, that's my nickname forever, man, Mr. Meany.
Yeah. I was like, okay, like I'm off track now. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, that's a day one for you, bro.
Yeah.
But man, and they're talking to all these guys like, hey, listen, I want you to come over here. Whoa, safety, come over here. I want you to play a little bit of linebacker. I want you to play a little safety, defensive back. Kyler, you're going to be a safety at sometimes too, because when you're in these different defensive fronts and nobody, even though you might be out of position, depending on what the offense, plays, you can now be in position because you have several different disciplines. And I think that's very, very important because I know Dennis Allen, he likes to get pressure from his front four and his back seven. He likes to disguise stuff. And he got into Tom Brady's head. And you know this. You spoke on it. He can get into Tom's head. You get into Tom's head, you can get into anybody's head. It's important, and I think that's great. I'm excited about it. I cannot wait, man. Let's cook, baby. But I'll tell you what, here's a bold call, man. Jarrett and Turner rack up 15 sacks combined. You buying that or no? Is that too high or where are we at, bro?
Ooh, that is meaty right there. If I ever heard of a take, 15 sacks combined for Grady. And look, hey, anything's possible. I mean, honestly, with the pressure that all these other guys, here's what I will say. Yep. I think that can be possibly attainable if Montez Sweat and whoever is on the other side, whether it be a Dangbo, whether it be Austin Booker, or whoever lines up opposite of Montez, really put more pressure this year. I know Montez was hurt last year, but if he goes a little bit harder and gets his sack total up from last year, I think you could possibly see that. Again, that all goes back to just, I think these guys are going to be more fresher with the turnstile at defensive end, or rather the defensive interior. And so you could see Shamar Turner maybe get, 6 or 7, and then Jarrett could go for 9. Like Jarrett says that his best days are not behind him. Now, he says that he said that in the press conference, of course, he says all the right things. He is a little up in age, but hey, if he wants to prove everybody wrong, go out there and get you 8-9 sacks. I can see a path to that.
Yeah. And you know what? He's not too far on the wrong side of 30 at all.
Yeah.
We still had a Julie Peppers. He was a very effective. We still had, Khalil Mack, and there were still people that were pounding the tables wanting Khalil. And this guy
I did too.
This guy's several years younger than Khalil. You know what I'm saying? So 15 sacks, like I said, like you said, might be a little steep, but by committee, Shamar, he's, bouncing in and out. I think he could play several positions on the line. It could happen, man. Let's see what they dial up. But I like your response for sure, bro. NFC North, man. Our division is for the taking, man. The NFC North, man. The NFC North was a war zone, and it could be in 2025. But it's our shot, man. The Lions ruled last year, but they lost coordinators. Jackson and Ragnow gone. The Vikings are rolling with rookie J.J. McCarthy. Well, he's now a second year, but he might as well be a rookie as far as
if he got hurt,
time, and all that and being hurt. And the Packers line's wobbling. JC, where do the Bears fit in with this fight right now? Where do you see him, bro?
Well, realistically, I don't want to get too excited, even though I'm biased. But if we're talking about the expectation And listen, the challenge is going to be the schedule. Out the gate, we're going up against two division rivals right away. So that's going to tell you right there if we're
Yeah.
going to be the leaders in our division right away. It's going to be right out the gate with I believe Minnesota and Detroit. Yeah, back to back.
Right there,
And
baby.
so for me, I'm going to put us third right now. I'm not going to get crazy. I'm going to put us third right now before the season. I think we have the roster, the staff, and the desire to actually be the division winner. I think the record wise, like compared to last year, is going to come down a little bit. I don't think you're going to have your 14-3s and your 15-2s or whatever the case may be. Like I think it's going to come down a little bit more where maybe the division winner gets 11 or 12 wins. And that's the kind of the baseline. That's the ceiling for this division. I think we still have the best division in football. All four teams are going to be competitive. You know, as much as I don't want to say it, I think Green Bay is going to be decent. You know, it's going to be competitive. Jordan Love's a decent quarterback, but he does know how to turn that ball over at the inopportune time. So we'll see with that. Obviously, we talked about Detroit. I think they're going to re-up in certain instances. They need to kind of make sure they shore up that protection on the offensive line again. Jared Goff's a very, very good, efficient quarterback, so he's always going to put his team in a position where they have a very good defense with Aiden Hutchinson coming back. And then, of course, you have Minnesota. Now, J.J. McCarthy's technically a rookie quarterback, right? This will be his first full year if he stays healthy. Yep. But you can't deny that he has one of the ultimate weapons in Justin Jefferson, out there. And then, of course, Jordan Addison, too. You got Aaron Jones, that's going to be decent. So he has some weapons there to make him look good as well. So, and then, of course, the coach. You can't overlook the coach and Kevin O'Connell. So, it's going to be a nightmare, I think, in instances, but I think the Bears are up to the challenge to be very, very good.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you on the last, but now so here's the thing with Minnesota. Their defensive line is getting long in the tooth. Their linebackers are not that deep. Their defensive backs are not that deep. When you look at their receiving corps, and you talked about ours, Jordan, whether being on the field or not, after JJ, there's not much left, man. They're not deep like we are, tight ends either. And, their quarterback, that's concerning. And their running back, Aaron Jones, there's a reason why Dillon and Jones worked well together in Green Bay. Okay. Yeah. And it was because of Rodgers mostly, but Jones got banged up quite a bit. Surprised why they kept him. Not really quite sure. Not saying he's not a good running back, but that's a little concerning too. Now, am I worried about that? No, absolutely not, because we handled our business last year with the Vikings and we didn't have everything that we got right now. And I think in every position, in every room, we beat them hands down. And I'm really excited about our coaches over theirs. Last year, not so much. This year, I think we definitely we can pack some punches. And with Green Bay, it's already going to be a problem, baby. Ben Johnson, he took his gloves off and he said, "Hey, I love beating Green Bay." And guess what? The coach over there, he wasn't excited when he heard about that. I mean, hey, man, it might go to blows. You never know, man. So
he's already ruffling feathers. Yeah, I love it.
Ruffling feathers, baby. He's already ruffling feathers, man. And Detroit, hey, man, I feel pretty good about them also. So, but I like the fact that you already took, you brought a little bit about the schedule up. Now, when I was looking at week 12, it really didn't bother me because they didn't even have a quarterback. And right now, I think they still don't have a quarterback. And I think if that quarterback gets on the field, we are going to put him in the hurt locker and throw him into a cave for a long time, baby.
Put him back in the ayahuasca cave or whatever he does in his off season. Yeah. I would love that. Go back into the darkness. Jesus.
What is going on, man? Did you see someone did the AI picture where Rodgers and Tomlin were doing like the kumbaya, like
no,
with their like legs crossed, like Indian style, and like
yeah, they're gonna have to pray to have a really good season. I know that.
Tomlin's like, so I really have to drink the tea, bro. What
drink the tea, man.
Don't drink the tea, man. Don't
That's hilarious.
don't let him rub it into the skin like P. Diddy.
Oh no, no, please no. No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, dude. So listen, man, the schedule's no joke, man.
Yeah,
5
yeah.
playoff teams early, starting with Minnesota on Monday night. I'm excited about that, man. What's your 2024 5 record call, man? What's your record call for 2025 for Chicago Bears?
Now I got crazy when we did this prediction on our show. I'll just let you know what I said on there. I'm gonna be a little bit more realistic.
You got time to go through it, or you just want to give us a just straight up, what you think, man? I mean,
We can go through it. Let's go through it.
all right.
So week 1, Minnesota. I think off the gate, if you're going to challenge JJ McCarthy right off the back, him coming off of injury and not really having a lot of experience from last year, I think you win that, in my opinion, easily, especially if the defense is already humming, kind of clicking on all cylinders. I think that's the week where the defense is going to be ahead of the offense going into the season and really dominate. And so it could be a low-scoring game, but I think the Bears will win in a low-scoring game. Detroit, I believe that we will win versus Detroit. I think Ben Johnson is trying to put his stamp on being a really good head coach, especially going up against, his big brother in a sense.
Yeah.
That would be a really good start, not only to the season, but like I mentioned, in the division being 2-0 already. Dallas, there's
Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt, but
No,
there's
go ahead.
I don't want to gloss over. Are you trying to say that Ben has more to play for, and that's what will probably potentially put us over the hump in that game and win on the road in Detroit? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but I also think we have Detroit's number. If you look back to the games that we lost, we lost like as in the most craziest ways under Matt Eberflus's regime to Detroit. There were many times where we were up and we should have had the game. Like the percentage wise of us winning in those games was like in the 90th percentile, and we found a way to lose. We have Detroit's number most times than not. And so that's not any knock against Detroit. Detroit is a very good team.
Yeah.
I will give them their flowers, but at the same time, I think just in that head-to-head matchup, more times than not, we have Detroit's number. So I do see us winning, along with Ben Johnson being the evil genius, being the madman that he is. I think he wants to get that started off with the win against the old team.
I'm glad I asked you that, because that is something to unpack, and it's important because that is something that the NFL knows what they're doing when they put these games together. They definitely know what they're doing. Okay. Let me tell you something. So here's the deal. Let's get back. You were just getting ready to unpack Dallas. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Yeah. So Dallas, now that they got a nice, they've always had a really good team. I think they're regular season. They're a really good regular season team. For whatever reason, Dak Prescott cannot put it together in the playoffs, but in the season, they are formidable. And now that they've acquired George Pickens to pair up with a CeeDee Lamb, the offensive line is kind of getting old in the tooth. They've always had a really good offensive line, but I think they're getting a little up in age. And so you're going to really probably have to rely a lot on the pass game a little bit. However, I do see us maybe losing, I should say, in a shootout. So that's where I have our first loss is week 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a close loss.
And here's the deal with me. I think they have one of the weakest running back rooms.
I agree.
And the drop off with the what do you call it? With the receivers. I don't know how they've managed to mismanage their receivers, but they actually looked really good for a minute. And now, it's not as good. And here's the deal. I do like Pickens there, but I wonder if he's going to rear his ugly head as far as give me the ball and all that kind of stuff. And Dak's got to worry about that and whatever.
Yeah.
I hope it can be worked out. I'm not sure what Brian is going to do about all that, if he can handle that kind of stuff. It's going to be interesting to see for sure, brother. But I was going the other way with it, and I'm surprised, but I'm not overly surprised. I will be surprised if you tell me that we don't, if we did a confidence pool, the Raiders are like freaking 17 on my list. They're the highest confidence I have in winning out of all these games, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. No. I mean, I know they have some nice pieces. You have a really, really good tight end, could be generational in Brock Bowers. But I mean, they got a lot still to that's desired over there. They just got Ashton Genty, who I loved, who outside of Colston
Oh,
Loveland, I would
bro.
have loved to have taken Ashton Genty,
Oh.
but he's there. And so that team has a lot to be desired. So that's where I see us winning our third game as well.
And we're playing them right out the rip. So, I
Yeah,
mean, will they get better as they go? I feel like it's a possibility.
maybe, yeah.
Right out the gate with all of these new, moving pieces and stuff, I feel like we could really kick them in their teeth. Now we're coming into a
Yeah.
bye week on week 5, and last year, traditionally, as you saw, every team had a problem rolling in off the bye week. A lot of them, most of them lost, but
Yeah.
now we're playing Washington, and I feel like this is the monkey on our back. Guys, especially like Stevenson, could have the game of their life. Is this game going to come down to a Hail Mary? Is this
It better not.
it better not? And is Caleb going to show that he belongs on the stage with Jaden Daniels? What's your thoughts about week 6, that away game in Washington?
I love the fact that last year we played Washington before we went into the bye week,
Yeah.
which is what kind of devastated our season. Now we're going into coming off the bye week, going into this uh I should call it the PTSD game because the man, it's almost as if the Bears got shell shocked into losing the rest of their games the rest of the season. Like that's what happened is that they mentally couldn't get over that heartbreaking, crushing loss of
Right.
that Hail Mary. And so is this a must-win game? I'm going to say yes. I understand it's week 6, but
Yeah.
I feel like this is a must-win game, not just for the mental fortitude, but to just kind of, like you said, get the monkey off your back and move forward with what would that be, a 4-1 record to start off in your first 5 games? Yes, and to kind of show, hey, Jaden Daniels had his time, he had his shine in his rookie year, but Caleb Williams is going to continue to progress and continue to prove why he is and should still have been the number 1 quarterback picked. And so, yes, I think this will be the game that Caleb continues to prove himself. And as you mentioned, even other players like Tariq Stevenson, be disciplined. Show yourself to just be on your assignment. Don't get sidetracked. Don't be throwing pom poms up with the crowd when it's time to get on your assignment and you're supposed to be blocking Noah from Noah Brown. Like, do your job, and we can come out of here with a W.
And I tell you what, I like what Ben said about all that. I think it's important and we shouldn't gloss over it. He said, like, he actually likes the fact that we are going to have an early bye week. And he thinks it's important to have. He likes it. He sees strategically why it could help us out. I love the mindset. He's already planning for it. That's huge that he's already planning for stuff like this, man.
Yeah.
I'm hyped about it. So coming into that, I agree with you. We're gonna get the dub out of there. So, bro, do we even need to go into the Saints? I mean, can we just
No,
go?
that's a
I
dub.
feel like that the Giants and the Raiders are the ones we can just be like,
Yeah. Let's just go past that. Yeah,
let's save a little bit of time there.
easy dubs. Yeah,
Easy dubs. Baltimore. As far you look at a confidence pool, that would be my 1. 18 or 17 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, the hardest one to beat. Not saying that is a game that we could win or take, but if you had to say that tracks, there's 1 game we're going to lose this year, my money's on Baltimore. What say you, bro?
yeah. I mean, that's the team that you're kind of looking up to. One of those teams that are just kind of very good on both sides of the ball. Obviously, a MVP level quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and you have a monster behind him in Derrick Henry, who still can kind of throw you around and can still gain a lot of yards. Very good offensive line, an up and coming defensive line. Decent wide receivers, like they have it all. Mark Andrews at tight end, like you have a really formidable team. So I'll be surprised if the Chicago Bears can at least keep up with them in the game. I would like to see this be a competitive game. I don't see a blowout happening because I think that's how far along we are as a team now, especially getting into what would that be, week 8. I think that's where we should kind of be already getting into a good chemistry, good gel of the team on both sides. The trenches are addressed already. they're already kind of humming, and so they'll make it a competitive game. But I think Baltimore still wins out.
I'll tell you what, if we go 6-0, like I feel like we're going to before we play Baltimore and go through that bye week, I'm not saying I'm still counting this for me as a L, but look for Caleb and company to surprise us and really do a good number on them. And quite honestly, we might have the best tight end on that field come week 8. We might have a lot of, and now here's the deal. Raquan's going to be circling the calendar. He's going to be coming for us, bro. He's got something to play for. That is something we talked about Washington and how much we had to play for. Raquan, he's coming after us. And I will say this. I think Caleb's going to be really excited to play against Lamar. I really do. I think it's going to be a special game. I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to watching that game personally. Now, coming into week 9, we're over halfway there. Baltimore, or we go into the Bengals. This one to me is a little bit over 50% in my confidence pool. I feel really good about it, but I could see where we could lose for sure. So it's kind of like half and one, half and the other with me. So I'm going to give this one to you. What do you feel?
Yeah, what you don't deny for Bengals is their offense, right? I mean, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Come on, Joe Burrow is one of the elite quarterbacks and has been since he's stepped foot in NFL. But the where you do see us trying to win or probably taking advantage of is their defense, and so that's the one thing that I think we will be able to take over or take advantage of, I should say, is their defense. And as you mentioned, Trey Hendrickson, there was rumors that maybe he comes here in a trade, or there's rumors about maybe a potential trade. I would love that. I don't see it happening, but we'll see. But yes, it's going to be a back and forth on offense, I think. But ultimately, I see us winning a close game as well.
Yeah. And you know what, to your point, I'd put it at like confidence. I'd put it like around 9, 10, maybe 11, but I could easily see where it could go the other way. I definitely don't see us losing all 3 in that conference at all. I don't see us going, against Baltimore, the Bengals, and the Browns. Like, I feel like if there's 2 games and we win in that, conference, I look at it being, the Bengals and the Browns. If we beat Baltimore, we might sweep this whole deal, but that's a tall ask for sure. Now, like we already said earlier, the Giants, let's move on. Who's their quarterback? So now back to the Vikings. Okay, so now we we're on the road. We're in Minnesota. What say you?
I'm going to say that we lose a close game. There's as you mentioned with Cincinnati, obviously there's a potential to win this one as well. But I think that with the crowd on this side, I think with coming off of the loss in week 1 to us, I think Kevin O'Connell is going to have these guys ready. Where JJ is a little bit more. The game is slowed down a little bit more for him going into this week. Him being a little bit more healthy, a little bit more experienced with, dialing it up with JJ and being on the same page with him. I think they're going to probably win this in a close game. I'll say that.
Mr. Media, I see you. You travel well.
I told you, man. Yeah, they think that the Mr. Media is a household name for our guys over there. What's up, Trapper Keeper?
So I love that name too, by the way, Trapakeepa. Definitely showing his age with that one. I was talking to a young coach I was doing with Griffith High School basketball. He just come over from Maryville, who that defensive lineman from Michigan. He was from Maryville, and he went to Miami. I was hoping the Bears would pick him up. The big guy, you know what I'm talking about?
You talking about the offensive lineman from Michigan State?
Oh, defensive lineman from Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, from Michigan. Oh, you talking about Mason Graham?
The other one.
Kenneth Kenneth Grant.
Yeah, he's from Maryville. That coach from the basketball team assistant came over. Now he's the head coach of Griffith, the town that I'm in.
Oh,
I
nice.
interviewed him and the entire team yesterday from Maryville, the basketball team. We had a good old time, and I threw a joke, not live, but I was talking about the Pepsi challenge, and he was like, "What's that?" And I sent him the video. It was like from 1982, and he's like, "Bro, I don't know nothing about that." I'm like, "Oh man, I'm showing my age," but talking about trap keep and all that, man. So yeah, dude, listen, I'm with you on this, man. I feel like I'm actually thinking that we're gonna sweep Minnesota. Okay.
Oh, okay. I
Well,
like it.
because of the quarterback situation and everything that's I think, and we handled them well last year. We handled them very well last year. But if there's one that we have a problem with, I believe it's the away game. I believe it's on the road, and I feel like it could be this one for sure.
Yeah.
Now the next game, Trappa. Yeah, look at it. He says Kenneth Grant, dude. Trappa. Thanks, buddy. And then he
Jarrett.
says I used to live in Whiting, Indiana. I used to
Oh,
work at
nice.
BP oil refinery in Whiting, Indiana.
I think the last time I went to Whiting, Indiana, there was a pierogi fest out there.
Dude, do you
They
like
had a good pierogi? Oh man, that was the first time I went. I want to go back. It was good.
I want to go back.
It was good.
So the next one, week 12, the Sharon Rogers game, where we put him into the dark
Sharon Rogers.
dark cave, bro, the dark cave, and we own him, by the way.
I own you.
Hey,
I'm obviously going to go that we win that. I think we're going to have their number. I don't see their defense, by the way, is one of the best in the league. I will say that. I'm not going to sit here and cap on that. Mika Fitzpatrick, obviously. You got Watt. You got a bunch of decent names on that team. Cam Hayward is still on that team. So they're going to be pretty formidable on defense, but I think Aaron Rodgers is just a little bit too long in the tooth now. I know they got DK Metcalf there, but no,
dude,
I think we're going to be fine.
So bad.
Hey.
You don't know. You would be very mad at Trex if you saw what I was trying to give up to get that guy in the building, dude. DK
really,
Metcalf, dude.
You wanted DK, huh?
So badly, bad. But now I see what happens. I understand. I'm on the other side of it. I see what happens.
Okay.
You get all this other, you get a Dunze, you get DJ Moore, you get, Luther Burden, you get all these dudes, but man, he's so good. He's
yes,
so
he
good.
is.
But anyways, they don't have much after that. They do not have much after that. Matter of fact, I just saw one of their tight ends went out with Achilles tendon for the rest of the season.
Or was talking about Freiermuth, are you?
Was it ACL? No, it wasn't Freiermuth, but it was a new, I think it might have been a rookie.
Okay.
They're not bad. I think they graded them out on Moving the Chains again. Watch that, listen to them all the time, man. But I think they graded them out pretty good. We were one of the higher tight end groups because we went out and got Colson Loveland and because we had Cole Kmet and we're just deep in all that. And then we can't forget about that tight end that we picked up over there from Miami.
Drew Smythe.
Yeah, dude, that dude's a dog, man.
Yes, yeah. He can move some people.
What they were saying is potentially some of third string tight ends on teams could potentially might as well be on the practice squad. And like the Colts legit have like 8 tight ends. I don't know what's going on there. It's crazy. It's bananas, dude.
Yes.
They're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for having tight ends over there. But all I'm saying is Smythe, if one of our, God forbid, one of our tight ends goes down, I could legit see him carrying that load, dude. He's not a drop off at all. He's pretty good, so I'm excited about him. But getting back to these Steelers, man, I just see everywhere where we could potentially beat them. They still have a contract to work out with JJ. Now, I will say this, it could get really interesting with the Bengals and the Steelers being in that same area where they have edge receivers. And if the Steelers put the screws to the Bengals and sign JJ for a really good contract, that could be a problem because with everything going on with Trey, that might really stir the pot and create some, because from what I understand, from what Jim was saying, not Jim. it was Pat on this one because he's former two-time general manager, two different teams, whatever. He said he knows that guy over there, that GM, and whatever he says, like, dude, he's not coming off those numbers. It is what it is. The Bengals have always been that way. They put out a number, they're sticking with it. It doesn't matter. He also says he doesn't get really excited about the whole thing where a guy, because these are all voluntary, right? You're not going to lose money in voluntary by not showing up, all this mini camp and all this stuff. Now, $200,000 a game, you can do that for a little bit when you've got that kind of money and whatever. But after a while, expect that guy to sign 17 mil. Probably not going to happen. I think he wants north of 30. I don't know if he's going to get 35. His last year, 2 years have been pretty remarkable. Wrong side of 30. I think he needs to listen. What's the old adage? One in the hand is better than two in the bush.
Yeah.
I think he needs to go with that because, like, he's still got to play out his contract. So he can hold out as long as he wants, but I don't think he's going to get what he wants for sure. The best thing that he could do is don his uniform, play good ball out, and look for somewhere to jump next year, because I don't think that they're going to hit that second year tag on him where you look at it, first year, second year tag where it starts to, pile up and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a whole lot to unpack with it. It's getting crazy, man. And they put so much money, like you said earlier, bro. You hit on it. You hit the nail right on the head. They put so much money into their offense. Their defense is going to starve, dude. Their defense is going to starve, bro.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, getting into the Eagles, do we need to unpack that at all? Like, I think that's
No, I think that'll be our biggest challenge of the season. I think the Bears, if they can find a way to be competitive in that game, that goes a long way into telling you whether or not this team will be ready for prime time and even the playoffs and going up against one of the obviously the Super Bowl winner, but a challenging team like them. So I got a loss.
and the Packers in 3 weeks, dude.
Ooh.
Okay, Packers week 14, week 16. Talk a little bit about that. What do you see going in? January obviously shocked the world. We won undefeated. Caleb's undefeated. The Bears are undefeated in 2025. We got a really good team. Ben Johnson knows how to beat the Packers. We handled them pretty good both games.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, bro?
This is you mentioned that the Vikings are where you see us winning, kind of eliminating them or beating them twice. I see this is where we beat Green Bay twice. This is the team that I think in our division we beat twice. I know that's gonna really warm the heart of a lot of Bears fans anyway. But honestly, yes, I honestly see us beating them twice. First away, which would be epic because now you're 2-0 in Lambeau Field with Caleb Williams, and then some home cooking in a couple weeks later. So you've already kind of got a game plan into how they look and how they play. I think that we'll wipe them out in 2 games.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but do you have three losses right here so far? The Bears
So far, there's going to be Philly, Minnesota,
Baltimore.
Oh no, I have 4:
Cowboys.
Dallas, Baltimore, Minnesota, and Philly.
Oh yeah, because I forgot Minnesota week 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. Yeah. Okay. So 4. That's not bad, especially where we're at right now. We're going into week 15, and I already know how most of us feel about the Browns, bro. I mean,
yeah. The Browns are very good on defense, but I mean, offensive wise, I mean, if you're putting your chances in Shedeur Sanders and whoever else, like I've heard that he looks decent, but he's going to still need some time to grow. The only thing I have an issue with is their defense is going to be very, very dangerous with Myles Garrett, obviously, and then picking up Mason Graham. That's going to be nasty. That tandem's going to be eating for quite some time, and so that's the only scare I see. Obviously they got good DBs as well behind them. But offense wise, I think we can keep up with them and we'll end up winning.
I'm with you on that. Now, okay, so we already did the Green Bay. Now San Fran, that's an interesting one. That is an interesting one. How do you feel about that one?
San Fran is always going to be, I think, a very good team. I know they've lost a few pieces. Debo's gone. Brock Purdy just got signed to a really rich contract. I mean, You can't underestimate that team with the head coach at the helm. I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden for whatever reason, but you just can't underestimate them. They've always been a very good team. I think their offensive line is very good with Trent Williams. I think their defense obviously is going to be up to task. They got some really good linebackers, obviously led by Fred Warner. Uh, so I don't know. I think that's going to be a back and forth game as well. That's the one where I'm up in the air. I'm right at the 50-50 line. And you know what, for kicks and giggles, I'll say we'll win that one.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. I'm feeling that they lost a lot. I think there's still an issue with one of their receivers, which is kind of bad because like they can't really now can they keep the ball because they cannot afford to have their running back Christian McCaffrey
Oh yeah.
29 almost 30. He
Yeah.
cannot handle it like that, man. He cannot handle it like that. I'm
He's
sorry.
getting beat up. Yep.
I think we get the dub, man. Now, last year, if those guys stayed healthy and we were playing them, I think that would be an easy L because we don't have what we. So but I think we get the dub there, obviously, because I got almost all these games we're beaten. Now, Detroit,
Yeah.
Detroit at home. How do you feel about this one?
Detroit at home. This is where I think we lose. I know that this is also going to be a close game, but I think this is where maybe, the Lions get the best of us. I think that with having everybody back going into the playoffs, I think this is going to be a game that both teams are going to really get up for. I think at the end of the season, Chicago and Detroit are going to be fighting for that first place spot, and whoever loses out is going to be the wild card in the wild card for the playoffs. But they're going to be fighting for that playoff positioning. So I think in the end, Detroit's going to win. And what do I have? So I have us at 12-5.
12-5. Yeah, man. Okay. So basically let's count mine because why not? So like I said, right out the gate, 1, 2, 3, first four are all dubs, 5, 6.
Woo,
After the
I love
bye,
that.
week 8, well, an L, 6-1. Bengals, you convinced me that was a potential L, but then I was on the fence. I could see either way. That's another win. 7. Giants, obviously 8, another win. I said we'd sweep Minnesota. 9-1. Steelers, 10-1. Now here's where the losses come. The Eagles, 11. It's not going to come to the Packers, either one, and the Browns. I think that the Niners, that's where we get a loss there. So that would be our second loss of the
Wow.
season. And Detroit, I think we're going to handle Detroit, especially at home. I think we beat them. So I think we basically do what Detroit did last year, and
Wow.
15-2, handle the
Wow.
NFL, handle the NFL. And listen, I'm not about why me. I'm about try me, especially
I
with
like that.
especially with the dogs that we got. We got the dream team of coaches, man. They are really here. They're doing their due diligence. You've seen Ben Johnson. He's not worried about his dad bod or his real nice beard like Eberflus was and all that crazy stuff. He's got bags under his eyes. You could tell he's in there cooking. He's in there working and grinding. If he's doing it, everybody else is doing it. He took away their cell phones, laser focus. You got guys screaming and yelling. You hear them at camp. Pat's been there. You see what's going on. They're also having fun too, but they are all about the attention to detail you spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
I want to touch really quickly about the fan pulse really quickly. So Twitter is on fire right now, man. They're doing great. At Bear Down, Dave says 10-7 or bust. I like that. I'm not mad at 10-7. You said 10 and north of 10. You got 12, but you could see anything north of 10 for sure. So bear down, Dave. We like that. At Chi-Town Gals, predicting a Super Bowl. JC, what's your word to the fans right now with things like this?
Look, we've been excited for quite some time. We've been off-season champions for the last 3 years. Whether it be getting the first pick in the draft or picking up a hot name in the offseason or free agency. What I would say to you guys is just be excited, but also understand there will be growing pains. This is the first year of this new scheme that Ben Johnson is installing. Have confidence that you have finally a coaching staff that is going to take this serious and that is going to build a culture that's going to stabilize itself for this city for years to come. That's going to be better than anything we've seen in the past however many years.
Well,
But
it about 40 years
yeah,
because you
yeah,
are getting right into what I'm about to talk to
yeah.
about next, and that is the Echoes of Greatness. The 40-year anniversary is coming up for the 85 Bears, man.
Whew.
And when you hear about these type of takes that some of our fans have got and what Trax is about ready to unpack, that's why I got my Steve McMichael Hall of Fame shirt on. The 85 vibes for the 40-year reunion, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, man. Think back to 85 defense, crushing souls, Walter Payton, running wild, a team that owned the league. This 2025 squad, they've got that type of fire in their bones, man. Caleb could be our spark. The defense could be our hammer, man. They're going to bring the hammer. JC, are you feeling those type of vibes, man, on the 40-year reunion, man? I mean, they're playing for a lot. They're playing for Steve McMichael. They're playing for
Yeah.
Virginia McCaskey. They've got a lot to play for, bro. I mean, this is a huge, huge season for them, man. Hey, listen, and if it wasn't for Washington going from worst to first with 4 wins into the NFC North, no, the championship game, the one game before the Super Bowl, man, they were in the championship for the NFC.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives life, man. That brings a lot of people. It speaks life to them. They get excited about it. I know it's a tall ask, but where do you see with this, man?
Could this echo the 85 year? I mean, that 85 defense, that defense was special where it's been talked about as probably the best defense of all time.
I'm
So
not
I
saying we're going to be as good as. I'm just saying that's the last time we really had something that great. I mean, I
oh yeah.
I think we could potentially surpass the 2000,
Was it
versus the Colts
oh yeah,
2006.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, 6. Yeah.
I think we could pass that, or yeah, 2006, and then the 2018 with all that going on, with Matt Nagy and whatever. I think this could be something special. This could potentially be the second best season that we've ever had, bro.
You feel it. You feel that there's something different about just everything that's going on here. You feel the chances that the Bears front office has finally taken with bringing in real coaching and real talent
Yeah,
and real accountability, not just going after the guys that are the yes men and then they're playing nice with the front office and they're just going to no. They're going to ruffle feathers. When you look back to the type of coach that Mike Dicker was, he was a guy that kind of caused a little chaos at times, but he expected greatness. He expected you to win. He wanted you to win. That's the standard that I think we're building again here. I do believe that this could be the team. If they take it all the way far one of these years, that could be the second best iteration of the Chicago Bears. Yes, since 85. I totally agree with that.
and the thing about it is, though, as much as we love Lovey Smith, there wasn't that much behind him to get excited about. I mean, like when you talk about a dream team coaching staff, this is since the 85.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else, man. This is crazy, dude. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, and the roster. Oh my. So here's the deal, bro. Bold prediction time, man. I've got, you already saw, potentially all the way up to 15-2, maybe 14-3. Okay. NFC North champs, Super Bowl run. Caleb hits 4,200 yards, 32 tutties. Jarrett and Turner, already told you, 15 sacks. Jalen Johnson snags 8 picks. JC, I'm telling you, man, I like what you said. I know I'm a little bit higher, a lot higher than you. You might ask me to piss in a bottle after we're done with this, but I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about it, man. What's your response, man?
Hey, don't worry, man. I might have to take a test right after you because my bold prediction is Roma Dunze goes for over 1,300 yards this year and solidifies himself as wide receiver one.
I love that. I love that, dude. That is huge. That is epic. That is important. And I think it could potentially happen. Here's the deal. I'm going to push India a little bit more,
Let's
buddy.
go.
Even though you went big on that, that's a big ask right there, what you just
Yeah.
said. But I think it could definitely happen. I don't think it's out of the realm. What I'm asking for is like bananas, dude. But here's what I'm asking you is not as big of an ask. Do you think Luther Burden could definitely push into number 2 and DJ Moore slips into number 3? I know it's scary, might sound a little disrespectful, but
I don't think DJ Moore will slide all the way to 3 just because the offense is going to be tailored around him too much, where I think he's going to get enough chances to prove why he's still wide receiver one or wide receiver one status. But I think that him and Rome will be fighting for that yardage kind of competition where, like they were saying last year when it was Keelan, who's going to get the first to race to 1,000 or 1,000 plus. I think those two guys will be in there. But when you mentioned Luther Burden, I think him as an X factor, him as the kind of like the forgotten guy in a sense. I don't see him getting over 1,000 this year, but I could definitely see him being a very good slot receiver where he really solidifies his role and he gets about maybe 700 to 600 yards. That's where I kind of see him this year, which is not bad.
well, and there's so many mouths to feed. It's kind of crazy how it
Oh,
could happen. But you look at like, yeah, you look at what Peyton Manning did, where they had 3 1,000-yard receivers in Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Brandon Stokely. You still had Dallas Clark in the mix and a die over 1,000 yards rushing.
yeah.
Could it tickle that the ivories a little bit right there? Could that potentially happen? I mean, it could. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but when you've got all those mouths to feed, and Tom Moore was a really good offensive coordinator. I think Ben Johnson in his own right is too. And so I think with the right approach, I think it could definitely, be attainable. It could be possible. And with that whole same situation, they went from 3-13 the next year. The Colts went to 13-3. So the reciprocal of that, like
There
they
you go.
the script that quick. And Tom Moore said the only thing he did different to unlock Peyton's greatness, he kept it simple, stupid. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. The one thing that he told him was 3 seconds or less, get rid of the ball. Now I asked Jim Miller, I said, Jim Miller, do you think we could get a retired veteran pass, psych evaluation, come in there with a paintball gun, and if Caleb holds onto the ball more than 2 seconds, hit him with a paintball. He goes, that's a little aggressive, Trex. It's a little aggressive. Well, I mean, we got to
You
do
want to harm him a little bit.
we got to come out there with a whistle.
Yeah, yeah.
Something, man. Blow the air horn right in his ear. I don't know something, but he's like, Trex, I think they'll be all right. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. I think now I will ask you this. I think I seen somebody in the chat. Oh no, he's talking about Javon Dexter, at least 8 sacks from the interior. I love that. Let me ask you a question. Do you remember how many sacks total the Bears had last year, bro? It was 40. Do you remember how many of
No,
the Super Bowl champions the Eagles had? So we had 40.
I'm
The
going to guess maybe 70. What?
45.
Are you serious?
Swear to
For the
God.
season?
Yes, look it up, brother. Look it up.
45.
I wouldn't do you like that. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm locked in.
Wow. Oh, I know you are. Wow. That is
So,
amazing.
yeah.
Okay. So
So
there's the standard right there. We're almost there.
we're not that far off, bro.
Yeah.
And to the point was like we legit lost our defensive coordinator and our head coach like midway through the season. There's a lot of weirdness going on, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. So
Yes.
it was crazy. But the whole thing about this is, like I said before, I'm excited about it and I know what's about to happen, but I like what you said about it earlier, like just, enjoy the ride, don't get too high or too low. I feel like that's what you're saying. You didn't really say it in those
Absolutely.
but I mean, like, enjoy the ride and enjoy the moment for what's going on. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, kinda stay within the moment. Don't get too high, don't get too low. I know as Bears fans, we've been craving for a winning culture forever, and then, like you said, it's going on almost 40 years. Like, we've been wanting this thing to get right. We've been wanting the right quarterback. We've been wanting the right head coach. We've been wanting the right culture and the right front office forever, and it seems like it's all coming together now, all together at the same time,
yeah.
and so we'll see if that actually comes to fruition.
Well, and I like what this guy said. It's real important. King Book of World, he said that Javon Dexter was on his way until Billings got hurt and he had week 5. And that's important that you got to have a guy in the middle. Henry Melton, I interviewed him last year during the Bears game at a watch party at Bridges Scoreboard. He said the same thing about Javon Dexter as Tommy Harris said about that 3 technique and whatever. I says, how important is it for the 3 technique and what do you see about Javon Dexter? We already went over the way that he handles himself. He's got really good technique. He's got good hands. He knows his assignment. I said, how important is the 3 technique in that 4-3 defense? He goes, Brandon, Trax, listen here, bro. He goes, the 4 is, the 4 and the 4-3. That's the engine. The 3 technique is the ignition. Nothing gets started without us, baby.
There you
And
go.
he felt like Javon had a chance. Tommy felt that way. So I feel pretty confident about those dudes, man. I think they know what they're talking about. Like you said, he's been in the gym. He's been hitting it hard, man. He looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Yes, no, he does. He's taking more of a leadership role too. When you hear him talk on the in the
Okay.
interview, he says all the thing he's trying to worry about this year is just consistency. He shows flashes of being really really good, especially in the beginning of last season. But
Yeah.
now he wants to put it all together this year and just be consistent.
Okay, so Bears Nation, it's your show, man. Can we go worst to first? Drop your 17 game record predictions in the comments below. How many wins, guys? Like this, subscribe, and you're in for a custom Bears jersey of your choice. Once we hit the 4,000 mark, I know that's chump change compared to you guys at Windy City Breeze, but we're
Hey,
really
no. We're all a family over here.
we just passed that 3,000 mark, so we gave out a jersey.
Nice,
James,
nice.
James Childress won, longtime listener, big time Bears fan. He actually wanted the Thuney jersey. He was really excited about getting a 2XL Thuney jersey. So I'm
Nice.
Thuney. So I'm sending that out to him. I'm excited about that. I kind of want, me, I love the offensive line. I wanted to keep it, but I got to send it. It's coming out to him. So 4,000, we're going to do the same thing.
Nice,
Jersey,
man.
your choice, whatever you want, man. We want you guys looking fresh out in those streets, man. So here's the deal, JC. Where can Bears Nation catch more Windy City Breeze, man? Where can they catch that Windy City Breeze heat? Tell us where, when, what time, all that kind of good stuff, man.
Oh man, catch us. Me and Pat, we have the morning show. We've kind of switched up some of the shows, but every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Most times. Sometimes we get a little late in the day. It might be 6:05 or 6:08, whatever the case may be. But you'll get us around that time. The Windy City Breeze morning show, and then of course we have the evening show on Thursdays. We also are trying to really jumpstart our national show, so check out that. It's just called The Breeze. So the Breeze Sports channel as well is up, and then of course we got merch coming out that's being jump started as well by super producer Joel Pat. Man, he got some real nice things. Our website is twcbreeze.com, so check out that website as well if you want some merch. Just trying to keep chugging along, man, doing big things, man.
Heck yeah, man. Keep inspiring, man. We appreciate you for sure. And that's it. The Around the Horn, man. Bears Nation, the table's set, the fire's lit, and 2025 could be the year we claw our way from the basement to the penthouse, man. From the outhouse to the penthouse, baby. A rebuild O-line ready to dominate. Caleb Williams poised to explode. A defense starving for blood. And an NFC North begging to be conquered. The Bears are coming, and we're bringing the thunder. So pack Soldier Field, scream your lungs out, and let's turn it up, man. Let's turn this season into Chicago legends. This isn't just a team, it's a movement. Bear down Chicago, because we're not just playing the game, man. We're rewriting the story. JC, any last words that you've got to ignite the faithful, bro?
Hey, man, you got me running through a wall. I'm just going to piggyback off of you, man. Hey,
Like,
everybody.
I got to go to sleep here in a little bit. Your wife's like, why is he all tossing and turning, man? Let me get a hold of that.
Hey, man, just be excited, Bears fans. I mean, big things are coming. This honestly, this regime, this coaching staff, they're all about winning. This is not a facade. This is not some fake, thing like we've done in the past. They are really about winning from the top to the bottom. Kevin Warren said he's about winning. Ben Johnson is about winning. Eric Bieniemy, the whole staff is about winning, and you can see the culture shifting. It's going to take time, but be patient, and we are going to eventually get to that Super Bowl. It may not be this year. Maybe we'll get to the playoffs, but it's going to be special eventually, and we'll talk about a championship soon enough in Chicago. Bear down.
Yeah, bear down, baby. JC, you brought them flames, bro. Thanks for rolling with me, man. Bears Nation, you know the drill. Comment your predictions, subscribe for more, and get ready for a wild ride. Are you in? Are you believing? Let's make 2025 ours. Bear down, guys.
Blood, sweat, tears, eat, sleeping, and we breathing. What we trying to accomplish is gonna take off.